Shout out to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Check the link in the description at omaze.com/badseed. This was a fun review today for a couple of reasons. One, because as the keyboard market continues to grow, there's this push to make things like more flexible for customization. It kind of results in more generic boards so you can add your own touch to that. This board is so far outside what we're seeing that I absolutely jumped at the chance to review this thing. It's really weird, like quirky. Secondly, sometimes as reviewers, we get like a little one sheet, like bullet points, things that might be easily overlooked in a product. Sometimes, rarely, we even get some information from the developer as to why they went a certain way with an aspect of the design. I got none of that for this keyboard, so we're gonna explore this little board together, my first from Philco, and see what it has to offer. You ready? Let's go! Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching Bad Seed Tech, and today we're checking out the Magistouch Manila R convertible Bluetooth 60% keyboard from Philco. So if you don't know Philco, you'd be forgiven, but they are in the top tier of quality when it comes to pre-builts and production boards. Given that, the price tag here at 170 USD may surprise some of you. The Manila R comes in 3 different colorways: black, sky gray, and the Asagi, which we have here today. They also come in your choice of Cherry MX brown, blue, black, red, and silent red. This sample came with browns. Got a 60% layout here, which I would normally call a standard layout, but this is anything but standard. It's pretty much all good until you get to that bottom row, and it's a doozy. Neither control keys are standard size. You get 2 function keys, one on either side of this spacebar, and this spacebar, which you can strike from both sides, but it's an easier hit if you space with your right hand. The convertible in the name could also give you the impression that you could reconfigure this bottom row. You can't. It's not a hot swap board, and the plate just is what it is. You may also notice here that the switches have these black housings. That's because this board has no backlight of any sort. The case is plastic, but it feels really dense and high-end. If that sounds weird to you, touch the plastic on the dashboard of a Hyundai, and then touch the plastic in a Benz and get back to me on that. For the Asagi, I did notice that it appears to be painted over the plastic, so you do have to be careful to not scratch or scuff this. It strikes a nice balance, like still being light enough to travel, but heavy enough that you associate that weight with quality. It weighs right about 782 grams, or 1 pound, 11 ounces. I like the sound of this board as well. You do get just a hint of case ping in there sometimes, but the large surface area on the keycaps and that light action just makes for a really nice typing experience. I want to take just a minute to talk to you guys about Omaze. Please don't skip this. This is really important. What you can win is insane, but who and what it benefits is really amazing. You can enter for your chance to win $20,000 to create your ultimate dream PC setup for gaming, editing, content creation, working from home, whatever. You'll also score a top-end peripheral loadout from Razer, including the Viper Ultimate wireless mouse, a Huntsman Elite keyboard, and the Nari Ultimate wireless headset. Entries for this go to benefit Gamers Outreach. This group specializes in providing recreation to children in hospitals through the power of video games and the gaming community. COVID-19 has almost all patients isolated in their room, and Gamers Outreach has seen a surge in requests from hospitals seeking what they call go-karts. These are portable medical-grade gaming kiosks, so kids in hospitals that are in isolation in their room still have a chance to play games. Bro. It costs about $3,500 US to build, deliver, and maintain a go-kart, and Omaze, with your help, is hoping to fund multiple karts. Every donation supports making this goal happen. To see how you could potentially win a $20,000 dream PC setup, check the link in the description at omaze.com/badseed. Thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate you guys. So the case bezel here is really slim on the side, simple Philco logo on the front side. The underside has 4 rubber feet in the corners, and the flip-down feet have 1 level of height adjust with the same rubber so the board stays put on the desk regardless of which way you go. You also have some dip switches under there which reconfigure some of the stuff on the board to make the layout more familiar with other keyboards you may have used, and you have the battery compartment that holds 2 AA batteries. It does so in a way that makes the forehead a little big, but it's still a decidedly better way to go than my beloved HHKB Hybrid with its goofy battery compartment. Obviously the need for battery power is due to the Bluetooth, so you've got this row of indicators on the forehead itself. The trick here is that 5 of the 7 aren't just indicators, they're buttons to select one of 4 Bluetooth pairings or USB, along with a caps lock and scroll lock indicator. In an effort to save battery, the caps and scroll indicators only function when the board is powered with a USB cable, which they do include in the box, but interestingly is mini USB as opposed to USB-C, which is honestly bizarre to see in 2020. I'd be really interested to hear why they went this way, especially because they've also included a USB-A pass-through here, which again only functions when the board is operating off USB power. The Bluetooth performance is rock solid. No connection troubles, no signal issues. It's very fast, accurate, and consistent. It's the same level I expect from the HHKB, and it delivers. Pairing is as easy as just holding down one of the selector switches. For comparison, this Bluetooth performance is a cut above what I saw on the recently reviewed GK68. You can game on this thing too, even over Bluetooth. I guess we probably need to talk about these keycaps before we get into the function layers and the convertible aspect of this board. So these are ABS, and not only do they have an interesting profile in that they're all flat and have a big surface area, for those of you that saw this on Instagram or Twitter and wondered if they could be separated top and bottom, you're not wrong. They include the special keycap puller that's designed to be able to separate this double shot ABS top from the lower portion of the keycap. This is a dicey prospect too, because the parts involved to hold the pieces together are tiny and potentially fragile. The manual even warns about this and that you should not do this unnecessarily, stating that some keys are intended to be swapped based on how you configure the board and some are not intended to be swapped, with no real clue as to why. So while this might be like an aesthetic option at some point in time, you can't currently purchase any different colored tops or bottoms anywhere separately, even though the different colorways on the boards do come with different colorways on the caps as well. I get the impression that it's geared almost exclusively for customizing functions that you activate with these dip switches. They include a few extra keys in the event you'd like your arrows to be the star of the show, with the modifiers moved to secondary legends on the lower arrow cluster. You also have both option and command keys for Mac use. Secondary legends appear to be pad printed, which is fine, as it would be kind of weird if you were touching the side legends constantly. The stabilizers aren't exactly your common variety either. I've never seen these specific stabs before. They are kind of a pain to work on. I really wouldn't mess with them unless you just really want to, because there's not much to them that's serviceable, and they do come factory lubed. The good news is they sound and feel good right out of the box. The only thing that would pop up in a review, but not likely in regular use, is that you can bank them like one side to the other if you put too much pressure on that one side. So what can I say about this board? It's not going to have mass market appeal, and it doesn't really give you a lot of options in terms of aesthetic customization. Probably not going to work with your custom cable. You need a micro USB end. You surely wouldn't buy it to swap out the keycaps. It probably wouldn't be my choice in a gaming keyboard, though it's perfectly capable. There's a bigger chance than not that this board isn't for you. All that said, and that's a lot to say, I know, but I genuinely love this board. It's not going to offer you a lot in terms of aesthetic customization to the rest of your setup, but it's unique for sure. It's a conversation piece, it travels well, I like the layout. It's not as weird as acclimating to an HHKB. The Bluetooth is really well executed, on par with the HHKB. The overall build quality and heft, in my opinion, gives a better feeling of quality than the HHKB as well. In no world, though, would I recommend Cherry MX Browns over Taupe or Silence, but that's a personal choice. It functions well, generous customization with the layout, no software, no plugging in to recharge, battery life seems to go on forever. It's built like a tank, it's a joy to type on. Even at this price point, you know if this board is marketed towards you or not. Philco definitely has my attention, and I look forward to checking out more of their stuff. I foolishly offered to send this board back after I was done with the review, which I did because samples for this thing are so scarce and I wanted other reviewers to have a chance to check it out before launch, and I'm already regretting my decision. Big thanks again to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Check the link in the description at omaze.com/badseat. This board is likely in pre-order over at mechanicalkeyboards.com. I definitely don't pretend to understand some of the design decisions here, especially these very odd keycaps. Hopefully I didn't overlook anything important or completely miss the point of one of the features here. If I did, please feel free to sound off in the comments, as I love learning more about these more obscure boards. This thing is weird and different, and I really like it. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.